I'd like to move on to. I'd like to move on to the next oral presentation by the Canadian Nuclear Workers Council, and Mr. Dave Swan has outlined.
It's a joint presentation.
Oh, it's a joint presentation from the Canadian Nuclear Worker Council, and well, you tell me, both of you guys.
Well, good evening, members of the Commission and interveners. My name is David Shire. I'm the President of the Canadian Nuclear Worker Council, and with me is Mr. David Swan, which is a worker at the GE Hitachi plant, and he's a union steward with Unifor, and he's also a health and safety representative. Unifor local is part of our Nuclear Worker Council, so we decided to speed things up to do a joint presentation. So first of all, as I indicated, I'm from the Nuclear Worker Council. For the benefit of the interveners, what we're a council of unions that are involved in the nuclear industry across Canada, everywhere from the uranium mines to fuel processing to the nuclear plants to the research, so on and so forth. And our main goal is to ensure that the voice of unionized workers in the industry is heard in the debate. Our comments today are going to be specifically to the GE Hitachi plant, which the Unifor local is a member of our council. First of all, I should comment on what Unifor is. You probably never heard that. That's a new union. It's Canada's largest private sector union. It's a combination of an amalgamation of the Chemical Energy and Paper Workers Union and the Canadian Auto Workers Union, now known as Unifor. And from that perspective, the Unifor and their predecessor union was take health and safety and the environment as a very high priority. They've represented the workers at this plant for many years, and to getting around the idea nobody, that lack of communication, nobody knowing that, well, I would question that in some ways. For example, it's well known in the labor movement. The new president of the Unifor union, Jerry Diaz, actually was for several years a service rep at this plant and at the Peterborough plant, so they're well aware of it in that regime. In Ontario, the Ontario Federation of Labour, which is the labour body of unions in Ontario, their Director of Health, Safety and Environment actually worked at this particular plant, GE Hitachi, for many years, still appears on their employee list as well. So around the question of people not knowing was there, I'd also have one question for the interveners that's I'm curious about. If you lived across the street from a facility for many years, wouldn't you inquire on what is happening there? That seems like a practical question. The other issue, I would comment that the small delegation from the Canadian Nuclear Workers Council toured the facility a few weeks back, and we found that it's an old building. Actually, it's been around a long time, but in very good shape, and from our observations, a very good safety culture and a very good program for workers. Everybody seemed to be very happy and productive. And I think overall, the best thing for me to do is to pass it on to my colleague who works at the plant and is very involved, and hopefully some of his views will help some of the interveners, their questions that they may have. And I would say to interveners that there's 50 people that work at that facility who disagree with them 100% about wanting it shut down. And those workers, many of them live in the communities as well in the vicinity. So again, I don't see how nobody knew it existed. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Mr. Swan. Dave.
Thank you, David. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is David Swan. I'm from Unifor Local 252, and I'm a certified health and safety rep. Like many of you, I'm just a normal guy who works for a living. I just happen to work for GE Hitachi. I'm a family man, married with 2 young children. I've been a frontline nuclear worker at GE for 8 years. I want everyone at these proceedings to know that I wouldn't be working at GE if it was unsafe. I know recently there's been a lot of concern regarding our safety of the plant. In fact, I had those same reservations. Now, before I accepted my position at GE, I did my own personal research in the processing of UO2 and found it to be safe to work with. Believe me, I wouldn't be working at this job if it would jeopardize my health or the health of my family. I've been elected both as a union rep, formerly CAW, now Unifor, and a plant and health safety rep. I conduct workplace safety inspections and then sit down and discuss them in monthly joint and health safety meetings. We, the employees of GE Hitachi here in Toronto, are on the front lines and work directly with UO2. We process uranium into pellets that you've probably heard about or even seen on our website. I will tell you firsthand that safety is first and foremost in everything that we do. All steps of our procedures are carefully thought out and always have safety in mind. This ensures that each task is being done is safe for each operator and for the environment. We, the nuclear workers, are very, very closely monitored, which is part of the licensing agreement that we work under. Every worker is required to wear a badge, which monitors our radiation dosage every single day, and then is submitted on a monthly basis. We also are required to provide weekly urine samples. We have quarterly extremity dose monitoring, and as well, we have annual general health checkups. Not only are the nuclear workers closely monitored, but our working environment is as well. Every day within the Toronto plant, our environmental health and safety team collects daily air monitoring samples in all areas of the plant. They also conduct monthly surface swipes on floors, equipment, and other surfaces to ensure that our plant is maintained and is a clean and safe working environment. In addition, we have a department whose sole responsibility is to ensure a clean and safe workplace. Concerning the outside environment, there are air monitoring stations located around the plant that we take weekly samples from to ensure our neighborhood is contaminant-free. In addition, each employee changes into work clothes, which are laundered on site and are not permitted to be removed from the facility. At the end of each shift, all employees are required to shower and change back into their street clothes before heading home. The union and GE Hitachi have a good working relationship. While we're not always on the same page, we are both committed to health and safety of every single employee and the environment. Working at GE Hitachi is good. What makes this true? They're an employer that listens to our concerns and takes actions to improve them. Many times I've sat down across from Paul Desiri and expressed my concerns. In turn, they are discussed, a plan is implemented, and changes are made when necessary. Not only does GE care about their employees, but GE is also a well-paying job, provides good benefits, and plays a vital role in energy production. Nuclear energy accounts for more than half of Ontario's power. Our plant provides approximately half the province's nuclear fuel. We are proud workers, and we're proud to supply this energy to fellow Ontarians. We are also very proud of our excellent safety record with our employer. GE Hitachi is a good employer. They care about us, and they care about the environment. I understand your concerns, and I want to leave you with this. Knowing what I know from my own research, my involvement with the Health and Safety Committee, and my involvement in the union, I wouldn't have any problem living in a neighborhood alongside the Toronto facility. In fact, my own brother and his family live just in that neighborhood. I thank you for including me in today's proceedings and listening to what I've had to say.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. For the record, Dave Shire. In conclusion, we have a saying in the labor movement: if safe workers means a safe facility, and make sure it means it's safe for the community, because anything that affects the safety of the community would affect the safety of workers first. We feel that the barriers are in place and the systems are in place to ensure that that workplace stays safe. Now, as far as making it risk-free, we had one intervener say today you got to have zero risk. Well, I think we all agree we'd like to see that, but it's impossible. We all took risk to even getting here today and when we traveled home this evening. But from our perspective, it is a safe facility, and there's great processes in place to ensure that it is safe. To the interveners, what we say to people is take a look at it. We're here, there's open houses and issues like that. Go and take a look. Learn about the industry, learn about the facts, and make your decision on facts and not emotions. We thank you for the opportunity for our presentation, and we are naturally open to any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you.